Board games, it's what we're going to play. Board games to finish off our day. Board games, it's what we're going to play. Board games to finish off our day. Hey!
Yes! First time!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Tuesday, 8 p.m.-ish. Well, we used to be like 8 to 10 p.m. Now we're basically bang on 8 p.m. And it's tonight we are playing PAPER-ALPHABETICKEll. And I'm open to new names of this. Like once we've played it, we can open it to people and see, hey, what name do you think is the best name? And we're also playing Mansplaining, which is a game by Fertessa Scott. Oh, are you okay? One of us seems to have, it's all going wrong. Someone's walking away from the camera and someone else has lost their connection altogether. This is the way it works. So first we're going to have our introductions. And hello.
Hello.
We have Heather and we've got Protospiel coming up July 17th to 19th.
Already.
Do you want to give a quick 30 seconds, 1 minute think about this?
Give it 1
What
minute.
do you have an echo on me?
I don't. It would be always good if you do wear headphones.
I don't.
And yeah, Elaine sent a comment saying, yeah, that's the way it happens with live telly.
Come on, Heather, give us a spiel.
Hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a spiel about Protospiel.
The spiel about Protospiel. It is a online playtesting convention that brings the real life Protospiel community together. That's a network of playtesting conventions, mostly in the U.S. that meets different months in different cities. But since we can't get together in person, we're doing it online for now. And we're also bringing in a lot of new people that usually can't come to Protospiel because of the real life restrictions. So we have, Bez will be one of our moderators, and we have other moderators in other parts worldwide. So I'm seeing a lot of people coming from Australia and UK and all over. So it'll be a 24-hour play testing event where we do a lot of free-form play testing, no scheduled events, all very low pressure, time to spend quality time together, play test and give feedback.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that sets it apart. So it's this coming weekend, and yeah, there's a real focus on that human connection that you sometimes get. So there is definitely a sense of, okay, we're all working towards making games and making our games better. But there's also an awareness that this is a way for people to connect. And we've got Tom back. Yay. Now I can... Hello again, Tom.
What did I miss? I didn't touch anything, honestly.
A likely story. So we've got Jason Hodgson, who has adventures and artists coming up, well, ongoing all the time, live D&D with live music. And how's your PhD going?
Loaded question.
I conked out there. What was the question?
It was about something or other.
I think
I generally missed the question because I've dropped out.
I think that tells us all that we need to know.
We can infer between the rest, do you reckon?
And then we've got Andrew Dennison, the last blast Dennison, I should say. One in charge of bits of roads, kind of.
Oh no, I'm not in charge. I'm not in charge of anything. I propose. the people who are in charge make decisions. Sometimes. Eventually.
Yeah, bureaucracy is the way of the world, especially when it comes to highways.
Some of it is necessary, but yes, very much.
Personally, I prefer to bypass that system.
Well, I mean, planning enforcement officers can be so, firm if you try that sort of thing. They turn up with bulldozers and large men in suits. So it's a thing.
You say that's like it's a bad thing, large men in suits.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what context they're there. Where they're there with writs for you to cease and desist your current business, that's, that tends to be prejudicial.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm here in body, if not spirit. It's been a long day of doing precisely this level of bureaucracy.
Well, it's always good to see you. And from one level of rules and systems, in a moment, we're going to enter another level of rules and systems, but maybe those which you have undertaken voluntarily. So-called
I mean,
games.
nobody forces me to do any of this. I do it of my own free will because I like to eat and have a house.
I'll send you the. I'll send your pets back now.
And finally, we've got Tom Cauldron.
Hello.
Lovely person, inventor of Categorical, organizer of Sheffield Playtest back when Sheffield Playtest was a thing.
Hopefully it will be a thing again sometime.
Yeah.
Soon.
When is the last time you've playtested a game?
Noises. I heard noises.
I'm not sure if we had our session in March before it all
Asking all the
went off.
difficult questions, I think.
Yeah. With other people live in actual person, probably beginning of March. So, yeah. Games, what are they? I don't know.
Okay.
Heard of them.
And so now
Yeah.
you and I, of course, am Bez, your provisional host. We are playing tonight 2 games.
Provisional. I mean, isn't that the wait?
Are we likely to get another host anytime soon? I mean,
Well,
Yeah,
we've got a 6th person coming, haven't we, Bez? I think.
We've got Fertessa in a wee bit, but Fertessa's just back from work because, we've got 2 people from America tonight, Heather and Fertessa. So it's really diverse. We've got 4 people from the UK and 2 people from all the English-speaking countries.
I was about to say yes, really diverse.
Only the English-speaking countries with the only 2 of them as well. Like there's many others.
I was about to say the Canadians are already at the gates, Bez.
Not to mention the New Zealanders, Australians. I love you too.
Yeah.
South Africans, yeah.
You could throw in a few others as well, so yeah.
I realised I was slightly unfair to Heather the other game.
Slightly.
Although
this?
Heather wasn't there last session that I was in. I asked Francesca. I asked another American person this question, and
all Americans look the same to Jason.
That's not what I meant. I realised I forgot to ask you.
It's all good.
Kind of like my stream question that I asked Americans, mainly because there's such a hot topic at the moment. How do you make your tea?
I boil the water on the stove and pour it over a tea bag into a cup and let it sit for a minute. Yeah.
That's relatively acceptable.
And do you then add milk or
if you mentioned the word microwave, you'd have been off the screen. That's it.
Yeah.
It depends on what flavor of tea. So
That's
herbal tea, I usually don't add milk or anything, but if it's like black tea, my sister-in-law used to live in the UK and she bought me this very fancy tin of really strong tea. I could run and grab it and show it to you. But I still have.
It's okay.
I think that, to me, Heather sounds like a reasonably good tea drinker. And speaking of foreigners, by which I mean people outside the country in which I personally reside, I mean, the whole word foreigner, it's very, you know, self-centered, isn't it?
Well, it adopts the same root as the word foe, which has always been, you know, it dates to a period of our history where perhaps, you know, the people the other side of the line were assumed to be hostile.
Well, yeah. I see you are definitely not a foe. That is all I'm going to say there.
I have to say, I think foreigners are people past my front garden fence, so...
I mean, south of the M4 is a different country, so, you know.
Okay. I can't... I thought I'd put it down here, but I can't find my standard L deck, so we're going to play with this one instead. So you get to see the very early black and white prototype of the couple deck.
Okay.
I should...
This doesn't even exist yet.
I mean, I can always get my deck.
Nah, it's fine. I mean, maybe people want to see the slightly different typography. And so, yeah, this is all going to be painted and have different nature themes on it and be all in beautiful colors. But this was basically a test to see if the borders were too similar to kind of distinguish, because you need to bear in mind color blindness and everything. Anyway, so
what is the status of the couple deck? Because obviously Categorical has been funded through Kickstarter. And
so
is the
Categorical, my first priority is to make Categorical, and then I'm going to start thinking about a timeline for couple. Couple is all done by another person called Miles, so I didn't actually do any work to make this. Miles basically did all the work, and then I paid Chris money to basically print it out and puts it into sleeves literally. So I did zero work for this, and then doing
great
that. Success. So I am at that level where I'm paying people to do things that I don't necessarily want to do, and also so I am focusing, I promise, on Categorical. Do I have the yeah, here's
you're doing better than I am then.
Okay, cool.
I've done one copy of all the letters, and maybe in the next couple of weeks you will see a version of the Categorical deck, which I'll be holding up, and then you'll get to see a very early version of that. And yeah, exactly, behind the curtain. There we go. So
dangerous place to be around here.
Talking about new games, we are playing a brand new game for the L deck, which needs a name. So it's currently called PAPER-ALPHABETICKEll. And in this game, I'm going to be showing you cards one at a time. Let's say you started off, I'll just do a really quick example. Let's say you started off with the L, and then the next card, you could use the J and put it before the L, because J comes before L in the alphabet. Now, once I've done that, I'm obviously going to choose I. Good evening, Alan. I'm just explaining the rules of the game. So this is currently my row. With each new card, so I could use a C or an S. That's quite terrible. I need to make a jump. I could do an R. I can't double up letters, so it would be like that. And eventually, I'm going to get to the stage here. Neither E nor L can fit onto the left or right of my line. Does that make sense? Because E is after my first letter and L is before my last letter. So I would have to draw a little X or a skull or whatever, just to note that I've skipped one card. If you skipped N cards, that's the end of the game and you lose. But please note that you are allowed to skip cards voluntarily. So in this example, I probably should have skipped the C, and also the R, probably, because that was a terrible choice. Do you see what I mean?
Yep.
So,
C is not an E. E is an obvious one you could have got in between. But yeah, F, G, H aren't that common.
Yeah, and there's, I think, 5D. Yeah, 5 Ds, 5 Hs, 6 Es. There's a lots of cards in between them.
You really?
Yeah. D, H, and L are the most
common consonants.
Are the ones with 5. Senorita, as Alan Oughton, Evening Again, likes to say, are the top letters.
Yeah. Oh, you should have had a sponsorship from a certain parcel company.
Yeah.
What are the most rare letters?
A, J, Q, Z.
Yeah, J, K, Q, X, V, and Z.
Why has 2?
Exactly. But those 6 only have 1 each.
Oh, okay.
Y is an arguable vowel. I'm quite surprised V actually doesn't get 2. V's not hideous.
Something has to get 1.
Right.
I just love the fact that Q also has I on the top. So you have to have a good IQ to use the Q card.
Whereas I'm daft and stupid and clearly campaign that we should add the U with the Q as a freebie, but then it breaks some of the games. So, you know.
No, I mean, the whole point is that it's either or. And so QU would actually be the worst thing.
Yeah.
Because what?
Well,
so if everyone understands the rules of the game, in the comments, or let me know if you have any questions. And around our virtual table, Jason, Heather, Tom, and Andrew, do you have any questions regarding this game?
Do we have an imposed starting letter, or do we just start?
Well, everyone chooses the... You could skip the first one. So let's say if S or C was the first starting letter, you could skip it, but you would have to make a note that you have skipped it.
Okay, so if we're offered AZ as a starting card, we might... We're allowed 9 passes, and the 10th one ends the game, isn't it, Bez?
Correct.
It ends the game, or we just lose at that point?
It ends the game as well.
Okay.
And whoever has the smallest number of X's wins.
Correct.
Yes, because they also, by default, have the largest number of letters in their line.
And what is the tiebreaker? Is there one?
No, there's not. This is literally the first time I've ever played this.
Oh, we did have a suggestion, Bez, didn't we? Tightest grouping.
Oh, yes. That makes sense. Yeah, tightest grouping. Yeah, let's do that.
So if I have A through Y, if you lose, Heather, if you trigger the end of the game, and I have A through Y, and Bez has A through X, Bez would win because Bez's grouping has been tightest at that point.
Oh, okay. So just the outer ends is what's
the outer ends, yeah. So if me and Bez both had 6 passes, and Bez's was A through X and mine was A through Y, Bez would have won. So we did have a tiebreaker.
Evening seats.
This is about the 78th change to, or it's not even a change to alphabetical. This is another spin-off of alphabetical, which was originally a game of Snap, then went through a nasty Nash equilibrium phrase, and then became something approaching current alphabetical, then became actually current alphabetical, and now has become how do we play alphabetical online in this format, which gave us compubetical, or we call it compubetical or paperbetical, isn't it? Whichever.
I've called it paper-alphabetical. I've not got a good name for it. This is the current name.
Yeah.
You've missed the explanation, but I will try to explain it as we go along.
Okay.
Have paper.
So you're saying this is a real-life game that you play like fast with cards, and now you're
originally yes.
Of it. Okay.
Originally it was fast, then it became slow.
Different. But then there was a fast version again.
The original version was played with alcohol. The alcohol wasn't in any way mandatory, but there was very much alcohol at the point it was being played.
I don't know if I was drunk. I don't think I've ever...
Oh, no, neither of us were drunk.
Unless people buy me drinks at UK Games Expo, I mean, I'm willing to accept drinks from, friends, but sometimes within, a certain tolerance. But I do not drink at UK Games Expo, just for the record.
Fair enough. We may have both had a couple of drinks, but we can't have been drunk because we remembered the rules the next morning. So
that's a very good game.
You tried some craft beer, I believe, at Essensville.
Well, it is in Germany.
So, somehow I feel like drunk Bez would be highly entertaining, so you should be careful not to say anything about the way you accept drinks, because you'll have people coming along like, oh, this will be entertaining. You know what I mean?
Who was the third person we were playing with? Was it Dorok? By any chance?
I don't
when
remember.
We originally were playing Alphabet Snap. It got fairly aggressive and quick.
I think I knew Dorok at that time. That was in 2015.
It wasn't Dorok. Who am I thinking of?
Shall we begin the game? Does everyone have their... I will make myself bigger, sorry, just so that everyone can see the letters. So you start off either with an I or an L, and pro tip, you probably want to start in the middle of the alphabet so you can work both ways. Or you can skip this letter, which I would not recommend because
that's
this
a fairly
is a
good
good
start.
card.
Right.
Either of those is playable. I think one of them is probably a better bet.
I have gone for the L. I'm
Okay.
just going to show you my list for the first few cards. N or D? I think it's pretty obvious what I'm going for.
It's not that many M's. About 3 or 4 M's. Yeah, the N's probably a shout.
4. You're
4.
only skipping 4
marginal,
cards.
but I'll take the N.
I or U, or indeed skip. So if you've got already taken an I, remember that you can't double up on the I. It's mine.
I'm going to skip
Ooh.
one.
Alan Outson's copying me. Or am I copying Alan Outson? O or F? Well, I think Alan and I are both going to do exactly the same.
So am I.
Who else has exactly the same so far?
I've taken a pass
Yeah.
just to do something different.
Me too.
Me-
I have the same thing.
Ooh.
It'll know.
Next one is S or G.
It's gonna be a pass.
S or G. Next one. I or C.
Oh no.
Skip. So how many skips? We just put like an X at the bottom of our page.
Yep. So I've chosen to skip that. So I've now deviated from Alan Outson. So there we go. I've got Gilno.
Gil, no.
Yeah. Hey, Gil Hova. No. Next one is R or W. Oof.
Oof, there. Oof. Let's skip it.
R or W. And
That's really.
I've gone with that because I know there's only 2 P's and 1 Q.
Q. Yeah. I wasn't sure any P's. I need my distribution chart.
N or Z.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what shall we do with that one?
I'm taking a Z. I'm not.
So, out of curiosity, let me know how many skips you've had so far. I've had 2.
3.
3.
Let me make you big, Tom. Ilnor. Oh, you skipped a G.
I did.
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't know. I might be.
Well, Bez did say H is pretty common, so.
There's 5 of them.
Yeah.
Filth.
Oh no! Come on.
Can't use
Come
the
on,
O.
O or D. I think I'm skipping this one.
Yep. Don't think there's a
Let
lot
me
of
know,
option.
everyone, if I'm going too quickly. Putting down that one, O or D. Next one is S or
That's
C.
worse. That-
That's perfect
Yes.
for me.
Yeah, everyone wants the S, I think.
Except for Alan, who chose the S earlier.
We're not under the gun yet.
Yep.
S or C. Ooh. That's what I've got. Gilnor's.
Is that the bootleg version of the Gilmore Girls?
Terrible.
Yeah, the Gilnor's. This one is the E or Y. And
Don't want that one.
in case you're wondering, there are 2 F's. Which is Y.
I need
Oh
to
dear.
watch that show.
Next one is another E or a P. Well, I am
Last.
forced to skip that. This is where we get the forced skips because I
It's
cannot duplicate the
started.
E
Yep.
and I cannot insert the P because I've already got the RS there.
Problem is I've got less letters than you, and I think I've still got the same range, so it's not going well.
That card was excellently placed for me.
Oh, what have you got? Want to show us?
It's presumably on the
I've
F.
skipped,
I know we can't have.
I've skipped more than you, but it meant I've got a short distance.
Thank you.
Nice. Well, it might work out well in the long run. We will see.
Nope.
I or B?
I'm going to take it. I'm going to gamble here that you lot strike out when you don't get when you start hoping for your C's and D's.
I have skipped 7 so far.
Of course, I could just wait for Tom to go bust.
Yep, I've put down the B, and I'm missing the fact that I never put down the C or D like Alan Oughton did. But to be fair, I've got.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got 4 skips. So N or F.
Ah,
That's a 4th skip for me. That's my 5th skip.
I think most of us have just had to skip on that one, unless Tom can take it.
6 skips for me.
I'll take the F.
I thought you might.
The F. Very nice. A or G?
Yeah, I'll be having some of the A action.
Come
Oh,
on.
definitely. The Alan
now Tom's caught out.
8 skips.
8 skips.
I could have taken the A,
Whoa.
but yeah.
Living dangerously.
I know. It's fine. Still got a bit of leeway.
ST.
T or G?
We'll have the T.
Okay.
I think everyone has the T.
Yep, everyone with an S is rejoicing because we've got the TG coming up. So if we've got T or L, well, that's terrible.
Roger.
4 skips.
Is
9
Tom under the
skips.
gun? Tom's under the gun, I think, at 9.
9.
Yeah, 1 more skip from Tom, and then we finish up. E
Well, unless-
or M?
I think that might be it.
Yeah, I can take that.
Oh, you can
No,
take
I
it
can take that.
You can take the E.
Yeah.
because he's still on F.
I can take the E.
Wow.
So we're all
I've
skipping
been
it.
really stingy with my
3, 4, 5,
beginning
6, 7,
alphabet.
8.
I'm on
Okay.
7.
Next one, R or L? This
That's
is
good.
my 8th skip.
That's got to be a bust, doesn't it?
That is my 10th skip.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's bust. R
So
or L, I have
that's-
to bust it as well, so that's my 8th.
So that's Tom's 10th skip. And
We
I've
might
got...
have
That
the
means I
exact
lose.
same thing, guys.
Oh,
Now, how have you guys got?
Abigail North.
How have
Oh.
you guys got? Oh, I'm missing a skip. I'm on 9 skips. Sorry, I was about to say, how have you guys got the same number as me and a G in yours? But yeah, mine's very similar. But I took 1 extra skip as an option. I was on 9.
So
Man. Yeah, Heather and I did do exactly the same, literally.
Yeah, I was very close, but I tried to take a strategic on the G and missed it.
right. Yeah. More choice needed. I mean, the choices are maybe a little too obvious.
Well, it's when you
You
skip
know?
or not. What we figured was the key variable in this game is how many skips are you allowed. If it's only 3 skips in the entire game, you've got to take some pretty early big steps. If it's too many, then you can play it too tight. So
Right.
maybe we've got slightly too many skips. Maybe. But then again, that was just
I
one
mean-
card. That was one draw. We don't, it might be
Less
coincidentally
obvious
easy.
sometimes.
Oh my, no, Alan, no, you were not allowed that pun.
My comments are progressive.
Progressive.
Technically, they are.
So, out of curiosity, Heather, out of curiosity, Jason, how many skips did you have?
9.
I was on 9
9.
too.
Andrew was on 9. Heather and I were both on 8.
So the split was only
Tom
2 skips.
First with 10. And Alan had 1. Let me see. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8.
Yeah.
So who's
Alan
got
Oughton
the
also
most
had 8, which means that,
Slightly different set though. Interesting that Alan took.
and all of us went from A to T. So yeah, Heather, Alan, and I all basically scored the same. It does suggest that, as Heather says, there's more choice required, which makes me wonder maybe if next time we should say, okay, there's 2 cards at a time, something like that.
I don't necessarily think it's more choice because that just makes it easier. More choice makes it easier to keep to the alphabet, which makes the game go on longer. It's less X's. It's being under the gun that you've got less chances to skip, so you're forced to take more cards.
How about
less X's or 2 rows?
Less X's.
Ooh.
But 2 rows. Yeah.
Just
2 rows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to know before me. Damn it.
I'm failing to envisage.
The other thing I'm wondering is,
So
what if I was allowed to put everything between A and T over here too, if I wanted?
What?
You know, as my game state is currently, I could go anything between A and T also could be over here. Not
What,
only
you mean
over
start
here.
going around the alphabet backwards?
Yeah,
So
like
now I have
wouldn't
C
you
through.
then just be able to place literally anything?
It would be an open-ended
No.
line, wouldn't it?
no, because
No.
T would be
still can
the
put
other
things in
end of
between.
it. T would be the other end of it. It's just
Oh,
that
right. So
I have 2 spots instead of 1 at this point. Now that I'm at A.
you're arguing at this point you could still accept U through Z or Z. Interesting.
I guess it's still the same as far as what you're when you're
definitely.
forced. But earlier in the game, I could have chosen, like if I got a Z and it was like this, I could have put it down and not taken a skip, if that makes sense.
My gut is that you need to be forced to take more skips, not less. We don't need to make it easier for the players. We actually need to make it hard.
Yeah.
I mean, technically speaking, as a game theory test, what would happen if you were only allowed to skip once?
Well, then it would be very obvious.
Would it, though?
Well, you just use the letter that you'd never skip, so it would just
You would
be
never
which letter
voluntarily
to
skip.
choose.
You'd wait till you got forced to skip only once. So, okay, so that's 2 reductive.
Yeah.
What about 3?
Yeah, I feel like you need less. Because you originally said 6, Bez, was your gut instinct, and I said it was probably more like 10. Or more like 12, because I figured it would be about half an alphabet's worth, but I think I'm definitely wrong. Having played it.
I do wonder about Alan Alton, because it makes me wonder, what if you have 1 line, and then once you, at any point, you can start the 2nd line, but you can't go back to the 1st line.
Oh, you can't.
Oh,
go
at some
back
point,
to
at
the
some
first
point, you can
one.
declare you're giving up on your 1st line, and you're going to have another go.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How would it be time-wise and everything if the way you played this game was just very closed, and so nobody is saying I'm taking a strike, nobody is saying I'm going to the new line if you try that too.
That would probably help. That would probably help.
And you
Yeah.
straight up, you definitely go through the whole deck. You know what I mean? But then your score is based on how many skips you took and how many lines you used. And there are like penalties for every skip and going to the next line or something like that.
Oh, okay. So you're saying use all 48 cards, but using a new line counts as 2 skips or something like that.
Something like that. And yeah, and you can't go back to the old line. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, because that has to be the case, because there's no... it has to be more costly to start a new line than take a skip. So you have to be faced with a situation where you go, I could take the skip, but it's not going to help me a great deal. I'm better off taking 3 skips and getting a new line to work with.
Yeah.
Interesting. And you wouldn't actually have to use the whole deck. You could play to 26 cards or 36 or any number. 26. I've always said 26 because it's alphabetical. And Bez always reminds me that nobody can count to 26. And she's right.
Yeah.
But you could deal 26 cards for the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you deal it out to start, and Xate has an interesting idea of top line goes forwards and bottom line going backwards. I mean, that would change it
I
quite
think that
a bit.
might melt the brain. I think having to go different directions might start melting people's brain.
No, I think it makes sense. It's just
it would make sense. It would just certainly for me it would hurt. Ironically I invented this game because I'm bad at the alphabet.
Oh, I see. You might.
I am mildly dyslexic. Remembering the order of the actively hunting, I have to say the alphabet in my head half the time to figure out when I'm allowed the letter. So then doing it in reverse as well would be a serious cognitive slowdown at my end.
you'd be totally allowed to do this, right, on your sheet of paper. That's not cheating to have a reference.
Oh, it's not cheating. It's just
Okay.
I mean, I didn't know whether I was allowed, but I had to. I was not quite awake, so I literally wrote down the alphabet.
Wrote the alphabet down, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but having 2 lines from the start is and one has to go forward and one has to go back is interesting, because then you get 2 first cards, and you'll make, you might make different decisions on the first card for each line, each person, and that would create more diversity in the way that you answer, probably.
Technically speaking, aren't our lines doing the same thing anyway? They're both going forwards and back, because we start in the middle.
Right. But when you have 2 lines, like on the top line, if it goes forward, it's good to take a B.
Right.
But it's horrible on the bottom line.
Unless you take the assumption you just start with an A and a Z. You could do that. So your first line has an A at the start, and your second line has a Z at the end, and then you're obliged to play off those. So if you get a B, then obviously you put it next to your A. If you get a U, probably an E or Z, possibly pass it.
Maybe.
If you had A and Z dictated as your start letters for your 2 lines, then there would be a.
I think both of
and
them.
you've definitely got some people who are seconding Xate's system, and Xate says thanks.
Is there a competition I don't know about involving the use of the X?
No, it's just that Wolfbook for board games goes by the name Xate, so that is their the name that they use.
Some of these people know each other in real life. Some of these people know each other in real life, right?
I mean, I know Bez.
Well, some of the people in the chat.
I mean, I think I know Bez.
I mean, I don't think any of these people actually know each other in real life. It's just that Alan Out and Xate have gotten to know each other through the morning streams.
Okay, so they can see each other's. They have a different view than we have. They can see each other's real names.
No, they've just chatted.
But they can see Facebook at the moment, presumably, so they could, if they've got other posts up there, whereas we just see the feed.
So Xate met Alan Outson a week ago on Skype, but yeah, I do know Xate in real life, and I know their real name.
You're all figments of my imagination, apart from Bez, who is a figment of my imagination that was once present close to me. Or several times, in fact.
Okay, so I'm just going to let Fertessa know that their camera doesn't seem to be working.
There was a very brief appearance of a 6th box, and then they disappeared.
Yeah, that was me just testing it.
I am really bad at names, Nate, so it's very difficult to put names and faces together.
Heard Fertessa's voice for a second.
Have they got 2 webcams?
Oh, hello, Fertessa. Can you hear us?
I can hear you, but my screen is frozen.
Can you? So we're frozen, and you can't, and we can't see you. Interesting.
Huh.
Maybe it's worth you reloading, if that's okay, Fertessa.
Yeah, let me try reloading my browser.
If you've got 2 cameras, I actually have 2 cameras, and they bug out if I don't select. I have to reselect one to force it to use the correct one.
The other thing is to make sure you don't have the cover on, as I forgot to tell my step grandmother about when she had to borrow my laptop for a Zoom meeting the other day.
You genius.
I can't see it.
There are so many.
Okay, and Jason, we've got reminders for you. But let's draw a line under it there. It feels like an interesting idea, and I'm going to try it out again at some point in the future with some variations, and we can spend a bit more time on it. But for now, I think let's talk about recent highlights, listening to music and seeing the sights, recent highlights. So my most recent highlights today, what I've managed to achieve is to go outside and go to the post office and post a thing. I posted, I thought I had a copy here. What I do? Dyson Ink by Inkwell Games. It is officially released tomorrow. And for people ordering it, because I'm doing the UK stuff for them. And yeah, if you're based in the UK and you want a copy, then go to my web store, which is stuffbybez.bigcartel.com, which is also found on stuffbybez.com. If you are based in the USA, then don't buy it from me. Definitely don't buy it from me. I've actually recently raised all my prices to the USA, true story, because it's really expensive currently doing international postage to USA. And so, yeah, now instead of being, okay, I'm going to somewhat subsidize it, it's all because it's £7, but it's okay, I'll only charge you £3 extra because I love my things going round. Hopefully Jason comes back in a moment. I'm going to charge you £10 because it's now costs me £15 to send a thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, now I feel like I need to apologize for backing your Kickstarter.
No, it's all good.
Kickstarter.
It was, I mean, I think that's how it works out with all of them. I kind of just made a tiny profit still, so it's still, you know, definitely good. But so it's just like, whoa, what's this thing? No, I adore, like, everyone please back my Kickstarters. But what I am going to do for Categorical is I am going to paste it via a slow boat rather than the fast method.
Okay.
Oh, Fertessa, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, and we've got James. Hello, James. You're just in time for our second game with Fertessa. Fertessa, it seems to not be working, which is a shame. I don't know why that is.
I don't have any sort of cover, and the green light is on as if my camera is on.
Have you gone to cam mic and selected the camera?
Yeah, manually forced it to select that source.
Yeah, and the settings gear wheel at the bottom there.
Oh, that cam mic, not my camera.
So who have we got? We've got Andrew, Tom, Jason, Heather, Bez, Fertessa. Oh.
And yes.
Hello, everyone.
And more than
hello,
6
James. So
We're not
we have previously done introductions for the 5, and indeed this is a record because up until quite recently, StreamYard could only have 6 people maximum, but now it apparently can have. Hey, we can see you.
Everyone's on now.
Thank you.
So apparently,
Teamwork.
Low definition.
We can see you though.
Yeah, so yeah, apparently it can go up to 10 people, so we'll see how well it can do.
10?
People are saying that maybe the internet will break. But I'm sure it will be all good. Now, we've already introduced everyone else. James is a lovely friend, lives in Essex. Do you wish to introduce yourself for 10 seconds, James?
Hello, I'm James. I'm a lovely friend and I'm from Essex.
Blessed of a sound imagination.
And I last saw James, I believe the last time I saw you in real life was when we were going to the opening of my exhibition at King's College London. Is that true?
Yes, and it was a very good exhibition, actually. I really learned a lot from that. Very educational as well.
It was called Breaking the Gender... It was to do with breaking the gender binary, and it was an exhibition where I had stuff that I'd written that had been put onto a wall. True story. But the main thing that we were going to do was a massive LARP for 30-40 people, which is clearly unviable right now, but they say that that's going to be opening. Realistically, they still plan to run it apparently in early 2021. So we will see what happens with that.
Yeah.
And on topic, it works out that today is National Non-Binary Day as well.
Is it?
Yeah,
today's International Non-Binary Day. So
the first one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I missed this.
What month was that your exhibition happened?
It's opened in February, like the end of February, I want to say. So just before we went into lockdown. It was open for maybe a week, and then we went into lockdown.
Oh, mid-March.
I think that was a week or two before I passed my driving exam, so really annoying.
And I do appreciate that pun. I really like that, Kate.
But I'll tell you something though. I mean, when we went to your exhibition though, I mean that it was fully packed out. There was a lot of people turned up for that. It was a very popular exhibition.
Okay. Cool. If we could go around, quickly do some recent highlights from everyone, and we're going to finish with Fertessa, because to Fertessa, I'm going to have some questionably quick questions.
Sure.
So, my thing was already going to the post office. What was your thing, Heather?
Well, I did get my kitty sticker Kickstarter from Bez, so that was good. And I am closing on a condo that I'm buying today, so hopefully I do not get pulled away to sign some paper, because they have not told me what time I'm closing. I have no idea. It's happening in
What's a condo?
An apartment. Actually, the thing that I'm buying, I would describe it more like a townhome, because it's ground level and attached to other homes, but it's one unit. So, yep, we sold something and we had to buy something else. One of the things that we're buying is in Arizona, and I live in Colorado. So it's not something I can go to in person. It's just sort of happening in the ether. And it's very good news. And I hope it doesn't become an emergency in the middle of this call. So sorry about that if it does.
And in the chat, please feel free to share all your own recent highlights. And that's lovely, Xate. I really enjoyed playing with you as well. Xate is working on a thing for the L deck, which I should give a shout out to. There is a competition. Be sure to make a game for the L deck and submits it before the end of the month. And Andrew, highlights, if you can think of any.
Don't know. I've got a good couple coming up in the next week or so, but no, nothing in the last few days. We did some yard work, garden work, and I played some games a bit. I've been busy, with the work thing. So, yeah, I'm here. I'm breathing. Things.
Yay.
There's more exciting things coming up next week.
I'm glad that you are here. And Tom.
I have a new nibbling. It was born on this weekend. Ooh. So that's nice.
Good evening, Aquasulis. We're just talking about our recent highlights.
What's a nibbling, sorry?
It's a niece or nephew. It's a
like a sibling.
Neutral term.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking of that thing from Futurama, the one that eats like little gravity balls.
Eats black matter or something. Yeah,
the dark matter.
Black hole.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard that.
Isn't nibbling a lovely word?
From Bez, it's a nice kind of generic, either niece or nephew. It means both.
It's much better than youngling, isn't it?
For that relationship.
So, James,
Yeah, there was a new youngling.
What is your highlight, James?
Oh, I've got so many of them, guys. Honestly.
Pick one.
But we just have not got time to talk about all of them.
Is this code for you have 0 of them?
Oh, I think Heather knows me very well, I think.
That's fair.
I
also got my kitty cat stickers in the post, and I really enjoyed those.
And, I could have said that, but I felt that one had been had. But yeah, true, I did also get kitty cataclysm stickers.
You're allowed to repeat stuff.
I even have the envelope here. Look, there we go.
Are we allowed to repeat?
Oh, you might want to not show your...
I'm sure it's fine. What's somebody going to do? Send me stuff?
Yeah, I know where you live. I mean, I know where you live, Heather, and you, Tom, and you, James, and I can't remember where you live. I'd have to work harder.
Well, considering you know where I live, Bez, you never come around for tea, so I don't see the point you know my address.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm sorry.
I've been down for tea once.
A bit far to cycle, and I don't want to take public transport right now.
No. Oh, when's your party for your birthday, by the way? Are we having one soon?
Well, I want to keep it really small. I think I'm literally only going to have, outside of ourselves who live here and Chris and McCall, I may be inviting 2 other people. So it's going to celebrate my birthday on August the 8th, basically that's the Saturday. Then maybe...
Is this your way of doing a Simon Cowell on me and saying I haven't quite got made the cut on this one?
No, James.
I have to come back to X Factor next year.
You would be very welcome. If it weren't for lockdown, I would love you to be at my birthday party.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Jason,
I won't take it personally.
Alan Outson says that our high height was being up on the roof. But do you have any highlights?
Do not give it attention. It would just need it.
Why was he on the roof?
Fixing the roof or doing some DIY, I'm sure.
What is great view?
I mean, I passed a concert on the roof the other day when I went to pick up my husband. Well,
okay.
Oh, I like the way Fertessa's just quietly giggling to herself in the background, laughing at all our silly stories.
I was giggling at the high height. Yes.
Okay, so let's get to the quick. Actually, it's the questionably quick questions.
Is Jason okay there? He looks like he's having a bit of a.
Jason doesn't get to share highlights. No highlights.
Okay.
I see how.
I thought that your highlights was passing someone on.
That was last month. That's just feeding off the roof thing.
Oh, I thought that was like very recently. I'm sorry.
No.
What is your highlight, Jason?
My highlight is I had my first in a long time, that I was completely safe, sanitized wise, first in-person lesson with one of my students. We played a game that I picked up at Essen, because his theory is, well, like mine, his theory is very interesting and works better in unusual formats. And Lord of the Chords seems to be working wonders for him, for developing his theory. And on the way back, I went to pick up, again, thrown at me rather than passed, but thrown at me, my first bit of LARP costume for my first ever character, waiting for next year's LARP event to start up. So,
nice.
So I gave the money and then spent it.
Is Tom falling asleep? Tom, you awake, mate?
No. A little drawing.
There's a new pun for you, Fertessa.
A little drawing of Helen out destroying a roof.
Wait,
this is the.
Okay.
And just in case people want to know, this is the one that Jason's talking about, this ridiculous crazy game which is all about music theory, and this is
at
Essen.
Music theory to play it. You don't even have to have music theory to know how to play it, but it's
just a little
very
cardboard.
That's crazy.
Wow, that is pretty neat.
I want to play that game. It's got a little keyboard and everything.
Oh.
The keyboard is just a box. I was quite sad to hear that it wasn't an playable keyboard. But I spent a lot of money at Essen, much my husband's, who wasn't impressed, because I brought the expansion packs and card holders and also I bought the full lot basically, except for there was one deck of note cards I didn't buy because that's just excessive. I bought the piano that comes with it, and then violin, because I need to know how to read a violin as a composer. I can do any other instrument, but violin seems to always throw me. Or string instruments in general.
I was about to say, how is the violin different? But yeah, okay.
It's to do with the positioning, so I know where notes are, so I know what sensible harmonies to give. I've never been able to grab hold of that kind of stuff for string instruments. Piano, percussion, vocals, flutes, all that stuff, fine. But
and Jason, you might want to check out this really bad music theory called Fourth.
Oh no, I'm not checking it out.
I don't know. You're not checking that out.
451.
I don't know how you pronounce that.
451. 451. Sounds like that game needs to end.
And we've got some shout outs for Tom's t-shirt.
There you go. There's another pun for you, Fertessa.
I believe it's from the.
I've got a musical game.
Nice tree shirt.
That's a musical game.
I do appreciate
it. Yeah, I know that one. So, let us move on to the quick. Sorry, it's not quick questionable questions anymore. It's questionably quick questions. So the point is that I'm not sure if they're quick or not. It's not that the questions themselves are questionable, like because someone said that they were expecting some sort of innuendos or something, but it's whether they're quick or not that's in question. So we will find out. Fertessa, did you have breakfast?
Yes.
What's the last thing you ate?
It was chicken tenders.
Chicken tenders?
Yeah. And no, it was Oreo cheesecake. Sorry, I ate that after.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
What kind of cheesecake? What kind of cheesecake?
Oreo cheesecake.
Oreo cheesecake. Almost made a disaster because almost put hot sauce on that, and that was my coworker's fault. Go ahead.
Iced coffee or hot tea?
Iced coffee.
What's a good thing to eat or drink whilst playing games?
Gummy worms.
Who's the last person you spoke to in person?
Boyfriend.
Books or podcasts?
Audiobooks. A fusion of both.
Okay. What's the last audiobook you listened to?
It's the same series I mentioned last time, and it's the Earth trilogy. I just finished the 3rd book, and it's by N.K. Jemisin, and I don't know what it's called still, but The Obelisk is one of those 3 books. You should read it.
That's what happens when you don't have a cover to your book.
Exactly. But I do remember the author because they say it all the time. N.K. Jemisin.
Okay.
Do you remember the last physical game you played?
I played. No.
That's fair. Has it been a while?
Game called No.
No, it's AEG's game, and I actually played it by myself. It was like 2 weeks ago. And I taught myself, and I learned it in like 20 minutes. It was a really nice game. I just can't think of it right now to the point where it'd be fast. But it's AEG Greedy Kingdoms. Got it.
Do you have a favorite color to play?
Purple.
Cards or cubes?
Cubes.
What days do you play test?
What days?
Yeah, do you play test regularly?
Yeah, Saturdays and Tuesdays and sometimes Wednesdays.
Oh, is that Gilhova's group?
Yeah, Gil's group and the Seattle group.
Nice. Do you prefer design or development?
I like both. Maybe design.
Okay, and that is the end of my apparently quick but not questionable, but I think questionably quick questions.
How do you win this game, Bez?
No, it's not a game. It's just we ask Fertessa some questions. Does anyone else have? And Fertessa, what is a recent highlight of yours?
Recent highlight is I cut my dog's nails all by myself.
Ooh,
whoa!
Nice.
I actually have a question. And Heather knows what this question is.
Uh-oh.
And I don't just because other people on this podcast are their streamers are British, don't think I haven't forgotten about you. How do you make if you either you drink tea yourself or you're sure you make tea for other people? How do you make it?
How do I make tea?
How do you make tea?
I have the little bags to steep, and then I dip it. I sit it in the cup, and then I pour the hot water on it. And after it's steeped, I usually like to pour in a little bit of almond milk and a lot of honey.
Okay, honey's good. Lemon's also good if you don't want to add milk. How do you boil the water though?
I have one of those automatic boiler things, so you just sit the pitcher on there and push the button, and it.
Oh yeah, kettle.
Good.
Yeah.
You pass.
The one you put on the countertop, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the electric kettle. Yeah.
I have never heard it called an automatic boiler thing before.
Do you mean a kettle, or do you mean it pours hot water? Because we have we have a water boiler. You click the button and it draws water from its tank and feeds you a cup full of hot water, which isn't quite like a kettle.
But
it's a kettle. So that was just the world's worst description of a kettle.
The ones that I've seen look more like a pitcher, like a water pitcher.
Yes,
They're
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's why my head has like the kettle that sits on the stove, and it is technically it's an electric kettle. Yes.
Okay, you pass. You pass.
Apparently, that is the official name for it: electric water boiling thing. So, we are now going to play Fertessa's game, which is called Mansplaining.
Oh,
and
yes,
for
please.
Everyone in the everyone in the video, we are going to make a pact to not cheat and to only look at the private chat if it's our turn. So Fertessa's going to send private information to the person who's currently mansplaining.
Okay.
I'm not sending my social security. I'm just sending the information on the card that is private to you. So
okay, so Alan Outson knows how to play. Thank you very much.
Do you want to mansplain how to play that?
I will indeed teach you how to play this game. So, for mansplaining, it's pretty simple. You're going to have your detail cards, and you're going to have your topic cards. And so, the mansplainer typically is going to pick one topic card, and it'll say how to blank. And then you're going to tell me how many detail cards you want me to pick up, and that'll be anywhere from 1 to 4. Details are just going to have random words on them, and you have to use those in your mansplanation. So once you have your topic and your details, you can take your time to figure out what you want to say, but once you go, you'll have 60 seconds to mansplain the topic, how to do whatever, while slipping in those detail words. You have to start off your mansplanation with, well, actually, and you must end with, do you understand? Or something to that effect. And at the end of that, everyone will put in, well, not put in, you can hold up a sheet of paper, because typically the sheet looks like this. Oops. Where it's like the topic on the left and details on the right, but you can just have a sheet of paper and hold up your topic guess and your guess for the detail words. Everybody gets 4 guesses, no matter how many words were used for the detail words. And if you get the answer right, you'll get 1 point for each detail you guessed correctly. And the mansplainer will get 1 point for every detail word that they slip in there. And they will also get 1 point if at least one person guesses what their topic is.
Do I need paper?
Yes.
Okay.
And everyone in the comments can play along. Is that right, Fertessa? By just, they won't be able to do the actual mansplaining, but if you're watching, you will be able to guess the topic.
They probably could do mansplaining.
They could technically type out the mansplaining.
If you know what I mean.
So you take these cards and you've got to describe the topics in a way that other people understand them, using the words that other people have got them. Do you understand that?
You've got it. You've got it.
I've got it. Right, okay.
And for the purpose of this, I figure it's okay to let it be somewhat loose with the topics. So if the topic was how to study and somebody guesses how to learn, usually that's pretty close. So is everybody good with that? If it's close enough to,
if a thesaurus would rule is appropriate, we're good.
Yeah.
It's basically a synonym.
The only downside is that I guess Fertessa, you're not going to be able to play because you can't do the guessing.
I can mansplain though, but yes, I can't do the guessing.
Unless one of us just made something up that's not really on her cards.
That's
right.
Yeah.
But we would have to all work it out. But I mean, I think Fertessa, you were okay with kind of just facilitating this.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
And Will Cook says, well, actually, a synonym is pretty much also the same thing. Do you understand?
They've got it. They've got it. As for this,
okay, should we keep the screen this way and kind of work left to right like you're reading the page?
Yep. For the 60 seconds, I have a little timer. And
okay, great.
Might help.
I think you should highlight the person who's mansplaining. Because
I can't highlight them, I can only solo them.
They'll be the people who are talking.
That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Make them bigger, yeah.
But they will also be the person talking. You know, it's a clue.
Yeah, but the mansplainer wants to be the center of attention.
Well, let me know in the comments and everyone here what you think. Do you think I should because the problem, if it makes it solo, then you know you get to see that person a bit more obviously.
See anyone.
But the downside is you don't get to see everyone else.
I really want to do blankety blank on this format.
Didn't you make yourself larger?
I can make myself larger, but I can't do that with anyone else.
Right. So that's what I was thinking.
What a ripoff! What a ripoff! Piece of junk.
This is like Celebrity Squares, isn't it? It's brilliant. I love it.
Okay. So given that we want to see other people, are people happy for it to just be left like this?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm going first.
Blankety blank, blankety blank, doo doo. I love this format. It's brilliant.
Okay.
Oh, and last.
So no one else looks in the private chats. No one else.
Okay.
Only me.
And
only you.
Keep in mind whenever you say how many detail words you want, if you aren't able to slip in those words in your mansplanation, then they're worth negative points.
Well, I'm going for all 4. Clearly, I'm always going for 4.
Is that the option up to 4? 1 to 4.
1 to 4.
Yeah, I would go higher if I could.
And we get points for guessing the silly ones.
Yep, you get points for guessing the detail words as well as the topic. 1 point for each of them.
And I only get a point if no one guesses it.
So you get a point for slipping in those words, and you get a point if somebody guesses your topic.
Okay, so when you say slipping in those words, do I get a point even if whether it's guessed or not?
You get a point whether it's guessed.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And do we get points for guessing the person's topic and their detailed words?
Yeah.
Correct.
We all get points for all the things, but it's obviously in the mansplainer's interests not to make the detail words too obvious because it increases everybody else's score. They want to get all 4 bonus points without us being able to figure out what they were.
Well, actually, what Andrew Dennison said was correct. Do you understand?
Is everybody going to keep track of their own points, or do I need to keep track of them on my keep tracker?
I think we may need you to keep track on your keep tracker.
All right. I can.
Yes.
Also, you need it for science and development purposes. It's not in any way because I can barely count at this time of the day.
All right, let me write everyone's names down.
Right, we ready?
Almost. I'm writing everyone's names down.
So you've got Bez, Heather, Andrew, I guess, well, self, Jason, Tom, James, and I guess there's going to be some people from the comments joining in. I'm guessing Xate, or you could put Will Cook. There's Alan Outson, Aquasulis, and I think those are the people who are, unless Elaine wanted to join in, but I'm guessing Aquasulis, Xate, and Alan, you're going to be jumping in with this one.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm going to type the things into the chat. Let's see.
Oh, I love this. Well, actually, Alan, I am new to it, but if you listen, you will learn quickly too. Do you understand? Well, actually, an explanation is where you elaborate the points to enhance its clarity. Do you understand?
They're already winning.
So the more you can make it seem like you're not changing the subject to get that word in, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the detail words, that's what you're That's
Exactly.
Or indeed put in words that seem like they're complete, that they're obviously detailed words, apart from the fact that they're also complete spoofs.
Oh, that's a good idea too. Okay.
So obviously, if I was to mansplain and explain that mansplaining is really like being a hippopotamus, you would be very suspicious of the word hippopotamus, despite the fact I'm actually using the word hippopotamus entirely flippantly in order to make you guess hippopotamus. Do you understand?
Let me know whenever you're ready to start, Bez. So
This is your fault.
I think
Fertessa.
Andrew's
Your
going to be
fault.
good at this game as a natural, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you going to hold up the timer?
Yeah.
Do we get like
Okay.
10 seconds to look at our words, do we? And then we start, I guess.
Oh yeah. You just let me know whenever you're ready to start.
Well, actually, I think I'm quite ready to understand. And okay, well, actually, I'm going to tell you that doing this thing, you need to behave in a very domestic way. Sometimes you want to be extroverted, but before you go outside, you want to put something on to cover yourself with clothing. Maybe you want to do some squats, or maybe you want to dress like a king, or maybe you want to dress like a queen or a prince. But ultimately, you want to spray on some clothes. It's like you don't want to be steamy. You don't want to be a dingus or an evil person about this. You just want to, before you maybe go for a slumber or before you wake up, you want to wear something appropriate. Do you know what I mean? You want to, like spray it on yourself, like graffiti or like stencil art. But ultimately, that is how you do this thing. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Well, man.
Wow.
But
I think I need to listen to the playback of that one.
So everyone gets to write down 4 words and makes a guess on the topic.
Right.
okay.
I've only got one.
Words. There were some words that were said.
There are 4 words, right?
Yep.
You get 4 guesses, regardless of how many words they use.
Okay. But so it's a separate thing. It's how to do the thing is one guess, and then what the words are is another guess. So it's a total of 5 things we're guessing.
Yep.
Overall. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I think I've
Can I just log out and log back in? I think my phone's got a bit funny.
Okay. See you in 30 seconds.
So how do we now announce what our things are? Our guesses.
Once
We just go
everybody's
around.
ready, I was going to wait till James.
Once everybody's ready,
I've only got 2.
well,
but-
Fertessa should.
Oh, okay. So I need to put them down on a different bit of paper. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's better.
Put it on a different piece of paper.
Is it
Okay, so I've got 4 words and a topic word.
Yes.
And we just wait until everyone's ready, yeah?
Yeah. Once
I
everyone's
don't think I've got
down,
words.
we'll reveal.
I haven't got 4 words, but I think I've got the topic.
Okay.
But you don't lose anything by guessing a word. So
No,
you can just
No.
Yeah.
You always want to guess.
Yeah, but I can't. As I'm racked with only thinking of 2.
I mean, there's always the
Okay.
probably wasn't a detailed word, but yeah.
All right.
Do we take it in turns to kind of guess, or how does it work?
Oh, everyone will just show their piece of paper.
Oh, good
Mine's a
luck reading
bit
my handwriting.
scruffy, but I can read mine out. It's fine.
Okay. Let me see. Oh, I should probably make my screen bigger.
Mine's very scruffy.
So
You see, I'm now trying to have mine visible whilst also being able to read everybody else's.
Sate has steamy slumber dingus. No, that's
how to dress.
Yes!
Yes!
No, I didn't get that.
How many people got that?
I had body paint for my answer.
Yeah.
Tom got that. And who else got that besides Tom?
Me, Andrew.
Andrew. Okay, thank you. Sorry, it's so small.
Ooh, and if you can add Mondo to the stuff things. So That was correct. How to dress.
Oh, Mondo.
I didn't get that. What were the 4 keywords?
The 4 keywords.
Well, now you're going to... Maybe everyone should say what they think they were before the real ones are revealed.
I think that might take too long, given the number of people playing. I think just announce them and we'll call out which ones we got.
All right.
Yeah,
Slumber.
We'll show it.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, sorry. Slumber.
Slumber, Kate's got it, and Alan Oughton got it.
I got Slumber, yep.
You said Alan, and who else got Slumber?
Alan, Sate, Tom, and James.
Thank you.
Tally chart needed.
Prince.
Dang, I went with King.
Yes, that's right.
King as well.
Did anybody get
King, Prince?
Prince?
Nope. I went with
Squat.
Squat. I got Squat. Yep.
Oh, I didn't even remember that one.
I'm going to get none of them.
And Graffiti.
Dang.
I got one.
Oh.
I got one.
Oh.
One.
So
Mando got Graffiti.
I
Oh, is
thought
that Mondo?
dingus because nobody says dingus in normal conversation, do they?
Mondo's the other co-designer of the game.
I think dingus is like hippopotamus.
You said
What is a dingus?
Who got Graffiti?
Mando. And hi, Jess. It's lovely to see
I
you.
got Graffiti as well.
And yeah, looking forward to chatting with you soon.
Only Mondo got Graffiti.
Oh, and Jason, I think.
No, and I got it.
Okay. Got it. Okay, cool.
You just can't read my handwriting because I'm so bad at that.
Okay.
All right.
So that is round 1.
That's round 1. So let's go with, okay, Heather is next.
Yep.
All right. How many details?
Sure, give me 4.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Of course, technically speaking, there is a tactic here, isn't there? Because if you were winning the game by several points and it was close to the end, you would not want many detail words because it gives people less points to get. Is this a tactic or is this an incidental effect of the rule?
No, I mean, you still, with the detail cards, you still, as long as you get them in the thing, you're guaranteed those 4 points, and everyone else can get up to 4 points for guessing them. So it feels like you always want to go for 4.
So how many points did Bez end up getting for everything that just happened?
5.
For,
she used all the words, and then the rest of us got between none and 5 for our degrees of guessery.
Okay, and did she get a point because someone was able to tell what she was talking about too?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Get the words in, and at least one person can understand what I'm talking about. Is what I'm going for.
Exactly.
Yep. And my point is incorrect because, as Bez points out, by using them, they got the points themselves, so nobody could catch them up on that basis.
That's a good point, Andrew.
Yeah, you've got
so is there actually any incentive? Is there ever any incentive to take less than 4? Oh, it's worth negative points, isn't it? But that's only if you literally completely fluff it and fail to in a minute. Actually,
it happens quite often, though.
Really? I mean, surely when you get down to like 5 seconds, you just go, "Oh shoot, I haven't used the word hippopotamus."
People freeze up. You ready, Heather?
Okay. Sure.
Should we go?
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. This is something that you do. Oh, well, actually, this is something that you do oftentimes in your house, but you could do it really like anywhere where you can find some water. You could do it in a pond or on a boat or like a waterfall or a river or anything like that. And there would be some soap, and some things that you have around your house that you're getting clean through doing this. So, a lot of times an alarm is involved and you want to be really punctual, picking up everything out after the alarm goes off so things don't get wrinkled, and a lot of times, you might take care of other things while you're working on this, like maybe do your email correspondence or catch up with notifications on your phone or whatever, just because you're going to spend some time waiting. Do you understand?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
So perfect. That's alpha keep coming up. I'm excited.
I didn't get Arthur's keywords. I don't know what to say.
3 out of 4, I think.
Okay, I've got
It's relatively
guesses.
easy to obfuscate them because you can put in sufficient numbers of words that.
Okay. What's the...
Oh yeah, it's hard. More people need to be like Tom with a giant whiteboard. And actually,
I normally have quite giant writing, but I have to write lots of words for this game.
I have one of those. I'll do that too.
No, we just did that one.
No,
We just did how to dress. We've now moved on to how to do laundry after you take it off again.
I've got doing laundry. I've got doing laundry as my thing. Yes.
Yay!
Oh,
I think
Tom,
most of
of
us got
course
that
it's
one.
laundry.
Are we
I
allowed,
just had washing. I don't think that's specific
are we allowed
enough.
wash? Or is that too
James
far away?
did that, and who else got
No, it has to be clothes.
I've got how
Yeah,
to
I think it
wash
has to be
clothes.
specifically clothes.
Yeah, how to wash clothes right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things you can wash.
The car.
What were the magic words? Was
So,
special
Yeah.
ones.
I was telling the points, sorry. So, waterfall.
Yeah.
No.
Who had waterfall?
Yeah, I got
Yay.
it.
Raise your hand if you got it.
Bez did.
Oh, just Bez. Okay.
I don't
No,
know.
I got
Many of us
it.
got it. Waterfall was
Jason?
suspicious.
Okay, this is proving that my handwriting is that bad.
No, it's just super tiny on my screen. I can't.
Okay, so myself, Tom, Jason, Alan Oughton,
Me,
Aqua Suitless, Mando,
Andrew.
Andrew got waterfall.
No, I didn't. No.
Okay. All right. Correspondence.
You.
Yes, I've got
Yes.
correspondence. Yes.
It's
Everybody got that?
myself, James, Mando, and I think that's it.
All right.
I got it.
I haven't got it.
Oh,
Andrew
and
again.
Andrew.
Yeah, sorry, it's awful writing, but I did say I got it. So
Oh no. Punctual.
Punctual.
No.
good skills. That one got sneaked through.
Oh yeah, I did. I managed to use that one. Yeah.
You did use it. I remember using it. Boat. Oh, I thought boat went with the water. Okay.
No, I didn't use
Alarm
that
was
either.
the other one I thought.
Oh, I should
Oh, I
have
got
gone with
3.
boat.
I got 3
I
this
was
time.
so,
That's
I
better
was
than
so
1.
suspicious of boat, but I didn't quite get it.
I was suspicious of boat.
I only got
No one in the chat got it. Boat.
Okay. Yeah. Mondo got waterfall and correspondence.
You got both.
Got it.
It seems like once you've played this game a lot, or depending on how many cards there are, you start to recognize the words, right? You could
That's
start
quite
to
a few
recognize-
cards, but yeah, you can. You could. Yeah. I guess
Yeah.
it depends on the skill of the mansplainer.
Right.
Boat
I
can
can
be
tell
perfectly
you-
legitimate in many contexts. And indeed, it becomes a double-edged sword. Just because you know the word boats in the deck doesn't mean it's a good idea to guess boat.
Yeah.
Apart
Right.
from anything else,
Play testing it, I
That's true.
actually only get the guesses.
if I know
maybe
boats in the deck, I can now use the word
time,
boat
so
in order to trick you into
that's-
thinking,
It depends.
Or once
yeah,
you,
it's probably not a good idea for me to use boat because we've just dealt it.
yeah. Also, if you've played it a lot and you're mansplaining, you also know those words. You can throw in like extras of those words, just the same.
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Do the
yeah.
words get discarded or they get shuffled back in the deck?
This
Because
is
I think
key.
what-
If I now use punctual, could it be a bluff or is it clearly obviously gone?
Because if it gets shuffled back in the deck, I think that would add the even more complication.
Yes, it does.
Not
It does
this way.
technically allow. Yes, if I now use boat, it isn't. If it was shuffled back in, it's entirely plausible when I use boat that I'm either lying or in fact.
Whereas if it's discarded, people could have good memory and by process of elimination go, well, I know it's not that word.
I mean, I don't have a good memory, so that's the thing.
Somebody's
There are
really
people out there.
I got
hippopotamus
I
in.
needed 4 left.
Andrew, how many details do you want?
Oh, definitely 4.
All right.
All zoo animals, because nobody will figure that out.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm wondering what would happen if you mansplain two things in one go. Like for the first half, you explain the zoo, and then you totally switch to something else.
You might end up sabotaging your own points.
Yeah, I wonder.
I'm getting a theme here. Heather likes having two things going on at once in every game she plays.
Oh. At least two. At least.
Oh dear. Right, am I meant to look? Am I meant to look now? I'm meant to look.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's your turn, so you can look into private chats. I am deliberately not looking, even though I see that red 2, and my neurons are saying, "Oh, there's a red number. Go on, look at it."
Right. So true.
Neurons, is that one of those words?
Okay, I think this is something I can probably deal with, yes. Okay. Well, actually, this is a process whereby you might move around things, around the world, around the country to various places. You might do this for all sorts of reasons. You might enjoy rancid food. You might want to go to very hot places. You might want to get on a boat. You might want to see hippopotamuses. Depending on whether you're going to a hot place, you may need to wear a hat or a toupee or something to stop yourself getting sunburnt. That's obvious. So you should definitely go to all those. You can do it using all sorts of modes, boats, planes, various things. If you use a particularly bad mode, you may get heckled for it because, obviously trying to cycle across the Atlantic would be terrible. There's killer whales and all sorts of things out there. That would be awful. Definitely don't do that. You can do it pretty much anytime you like, as long as you're not busy otherwise. Obviously, hippopotamuses are an occupational risk. You definitely need lots of electricity to do this by certain methods, but on the other hand, you can also do it totally randomly using arbitrary values or indeed your own feet, sometimes even a unicycle. Do you understand?
That was masterclass.
Okay.
I got them, but I'm probably completely wrong.
I'm going to be curious how badly this goes.
Yeah.
They were quite hard ones.
Okay, I've got some words.
I'm going to assume that hippopotamus is a double bluff.
Yeah.
Hippopotamus is very obviously a double bluff.
I would say it's a single bluff, surely.
It could even be a single bluff, yes.
Triple
Both
bluff.
Boat and hippopotamus were in there a lot, so
Yeah,
that
that was more self-referential humor at this point.
Yeah.
We don't do that on this stream. What are you talking about?
Looks like I might have managed to get one through completely. I think I have got one through completely. Actually, I reckon that should be a bonus point, Fertessa.
Oh.
If you get one person
Any word, if you can get a word past the entire group, it should be worth a bonus point.
That's something to consider.
Maybe you only get one, not for every word, but if during a round you successfully get a word completely past the group. Because I think I've managed to get away with one here, but I think most of them have been picked up.
Point to get one.
Okay, what have we got then?
Hold on. I was writing down his note. Sorry. Completely. That's a good note. So the topic is
Aquasulus, Alanapton,
how to travel. How to travel.
Yep. So most of you got
Yeah,
that
I think
one.
you all got that.
I was actually too detailed though. I should have made it far more obscure so that only one of you got it. But
Oh, everybody got that.
yeah, unfortunately. You don't actually want to give a particularly good explanation.
Things.
I now realise.
Oh,
You
there we
want to give a
go.
poor
Yeah,
explanation.
maybe similarly with if you get a bonus point if you
Yeah.
had a word
Yay.
missed the group, you should lose a point if everyone gets what you're trying to say.
If everybody gets the
Yeah.
word.
Toupee, I got toupee. I got toupee.
Yeah, so toupee's gone badly. I couldn't couldn't figure out how to give
Rancid,
it.
yeah, I got
I've
rancid.
got toupee, I've got
And
rancid.
killer.
Okay.
Oh,
I got two, I think.
I got two.
Yes.
I think I did
Doesn't
okay. I
work.
think I've managed to limit most of you to two or
I got
Tom got
two.
three.
Yeah.
Tom got three. None of
I
you got
think
killer.
Cycle was a red herring, wasn't it?
Unicycle was a red herring. I tried to make it look like I'd forgotten to use it and put it in right at the end, but it was a red herring. The one none of you got was killer.
No.
Aquasulus
Oh,
says
Aquasulus did get killer. Okay,
Mhm.
fine. One of you got killer, but not you guys playing on the stream.
It's another one that
Aquasulus
matters.
is good at this game.
I'm joking,
Because
I'm
you
joking,
right.
Aquasulus.
Because you built it into killer whale, you know?
Yes, which got lost in
Yeah.
amongst the Atlantic, which was
Yeah.
that was
I
fine.
was choosing between killer and whales, and I was not sure which way to go.
I was wondering whether you would use hippopotamus as a way to throw us off as whale. I thought it was a double bluff, which was why I then went, nah, I'm going to call that one.
And for Jessica Hancock, actually, I don't think that I think it was brought up before that it reminded somebody of Dixit, but we weren't thinking of Dixit when we came up with the scoring. This one just kind of naturally found its way. But I have played Dixit before, so maybe it was a subliminal thing. Mondo?
Did you manage to get everybody's score in the chat? Or
yep.
Okay, awesome.
I had everybody's score. So
Jason's turn.
Yeah, so you definitely need to make a worse explanation. That's interesting. You have to make sure one person gets it, but not, but ideally not very many.
Looking at the chat.
And Jason, how many details?
4.
4. All right.
This may be a Nash equilibrium type situation. I don't yet see an advantage to having less than 4.
I've had people who felt overwhelmed, so they want less.
Right, but that just seems to be artificially handicapping yourself. I'm not good at this, so I'll take less words. So I mean, you avoid the negative scoring, but by definition, you're just giving everybody an advantage anyway because you're allowing them more chances to score off you. Yeah, something. But then we're all good at motor mouthing, so you know.
Oh boy!
Thanks for cursing it.
Yeah, I just thought no pressure there.
Some of those words.
Jason, have you seen your things?
I have, and I cannot say one of them. I don't even know what it means.
It doesn't matter. That's in the theme.
Use it.
You make up the definition.
Oh no!
I can't even pronounce it. That's the problem. That I can't even pronounce it.
Is it the first one or the second one?
I will tell you which one it is.
Just so say if you don't use one of the detail words, then you score -1 for it.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Got my pen at the ready.
Oh, let me get the little timer. And
yeah. Well, actually, I think it's pretty ridiculous that I'm having to explain this to all of you. You should know what this is. It's just such a huge task to ask me. Such an egregious task. So basically, you go to this establishment, this place that's kind of full of frozen water that's made up of solid items, and you put on these boots of sorts with blades, and they're quite sharp, pretty much like you get with like a charcuterie of sorts. And if you're not careful, you can kind of zoom off, as I have done in the past. You've got to be extremely careful. You've got to be extremely delicate. Otherwise, you're going all across this ice like a shotgun, and you could end up slipping and falling. But you know that, right?
If it's what I think it is, ice is perilously close to using the actual word.
Or it's a double bluff.
Yeah, but surely you're not allowed to actually use this is like taboo, isn't it? We aren't allowed to use the actual words that we're describing.
Yes, that is true.
So if he is trying to describe ice skating, then the word ice might be construed.
I missed that. That must have been when I zoomed out of the call, the middle.
Ah.
Well, actually, she never said we were not allowed to do it.
That was my.
Did she not?
You're not.
I inferred this.
It could easily just be a double bluff.
It could be, but I thought the rules explicitly banned us from saying
from 2 rounds onward. Do not use the word that is in the top.
Yeah, because otherwise you can obviously make sure you get the point for a correct explanation, albeit everybody else will then get it too.
Yeah.
I got delicate as well, and egregious.
Egregious seems suspicious. Egregious is now going to be a bluff, but egregious seems. Seems highly likely to have been a...
I did not like the grouping of words I got. Everyone else got easier words than me.
To be fair, rancid wasn't exactly what you'd call simple in the context of world travel, and toupee was fringe at best.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you do research?
Yeah, ice skating. I got that. I got ice skating.
Yeah, we all know it was ice
That's
skating.
my bad. That was my bad.
Fertessa, is it worth waiting until Mondo actually puts their comments up?
That's my bad. That's totally my
I think
bad.
we've already shown them what we've got. At this point, they could just cheat.
That's true.
Yeah, Mondo created the game, so we're.
I mean, there is that as well.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Given that
I
now
didn't
doesn't
realise
know
you
what's
couldn't
in the
say
deck.
word, but
Where did I put the?
I'm happy to forfeit that point. By the way,
It's sad how much it shows
That's fine.
how I rely on spell check. You know?
I just
Egregious,
Yeah.
egregious. This is like affect, defect, isn't it? I think they're both words.
Oh.
What are the words?
Okay.
Okay.
Establishment.
No, I didn't get that one.
Yay!
Okay,
Well snuck.
these two weren't used.
Yeah.
Shotgun.
No, I didn't get
Okay.
shotgun.
Somebody got shotgun.
Oh, you didn't use that.
Charcuterie. I got
Charcuterie was in there. That was too obscure.
So I said that. That's me trying to spell that word.
Egregious. I got egregious.
Yeah.
We'll give you
I thought
egregious.
egregious was a bluff.
No, egregious is true, which is good because I only got 1 point for the guesses.
Ben,
I
how
got
much
2 points. Yay.
you got?
Well, you also get a point for ice skating, right?
Yeah,
Yes, I got 2 points.
I'm happy to
Oh, I
forfeit
get 3
my
points
point.
then.
2 for Heather.
I have
Andrew,
to
how many
forfeit
did you
my
get?
point for the guess because, of course, I didn't realise that I couldn't say the word.
I think because you didn't realise it's probably fine, but we'll let Fertessa rule because, you know,
No.
Fertessa.
I get 2 out of 5.
Andrew, how many did you get?
Wow, do you think I'm that snotty and academic, Aquarius?
You're studying for a PhD.
Andrew,
I mean,
like a real subject.
Andrew,
egregious is like a real word. What did I get? 2.
I think she's missing something of yours, James. Or
I got 3.
3. Okay.
what? Say the 4 words again. They were.
They were
They were-
charcuterie,
Egregious.
shotgun.
Charcuterie.
Oh, you only had 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
charcuterie was too obscure that I
Whoa.
actually thought that was either a bluff or just actually arbitrary because it
I don't know
didn't seem like a likely word to be in a deck of cards.
So I got all 4. That shocks me. If you're, as long as you're giving it to me, even though I don't know how to spell it.
Yes.
Pronounce it. I had to. That was the one I couldn't pronounce. Like, I have no idea what this is.
Part of me wonders. I mean, I suppose we are getting a good number of them. Whether there's too long to hide 4 words.
Which one's too long?
I've only ever seen the word
I mean,
egregious used in the League of Gentlemen sketch.
Yeah, you can get sufficient number of words into 60 seconds that you can hide lots of them. But then again, I failed to hide most of mine. So it depends how hard the words are, partly.
Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Those are horrible.
I mean, I feel like there should be some. Well, I'll say it's at the after we've had Tom and James take their turn.
I mean, James, I've heard egregious being used very often
How
in
many?
conferences, in academic conferences.
Egregiously often, in fact.
Yes.
Tom,
Well, that's because most of my friends don't know words longer than 2 syllables.
4. Okay.
I'm having to learn how to say a lot of these words so I don't sound like a complete and utter idiot.
No, you don't.
To be fair, I've seldom had the use of the word to pay. So, you know, there's some words it's also much
Could
good to
you-
pronounce. It's just like,
Andrew,
when am I going
could
to
you
use that word?
mansplain to us the use of the word egregious, please?
No.
No. that would be knowing roughly what it is.
That would be too egregious, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think it would, in
egregious,
fact.
Gabe.
I think it would be perfectly reasonable.
Right, is it Tom's turn?
Yep. Let me know when you're ready, Tom.
This better be some
Okay.
egregious mansplaining.
Let's see. I'm ready to go. Well, actually,
Can you guys hear Tom?
there's
Yes.
so many different ways of doing this. You may think there's only one, but there's so many different ways to do this. You can have a great time in people enjoy different things, don't they? I mean, some people enjoy figure skating, as Jason just explained to us. Some people, I mean, just enjoy just getting together, doing some knitting together or some sewing, learn how to do a hem and tie up some cuffs. I mean, that's a kind of specialized form of this, but it's people getting together and having fun is the core essence of this thing. I mean, you really have to get into it, get into the depths of the experience of what you're doing, burrow down into the core of it, but mainly people just get together and have fun for occasions. Christmas, that's a great thing to do, or maybe on your birthday. I mean, just have fun. That's whatever. Do you understand? Yeah, I mean.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, what's it? The other one? No, I'm sticking.
I don't know what the question is on this one.
Socialize, maybe. That's the closest I can get.
Yeah, I'm thinking something like that. Socializing, but
I've got
don't know.
I'll put mine up so I don't write on it.
I cannot make this focus. I'm sorry. I need a bigger pen next to.
I've
with
just
these
got to
little
chop off
screens,
my
it's no
grandparents
good.
for having two lights on because I go really dark otherwise.
I'm just going to pretend that my words are the correct words because there's hieroglyphs here that suggest that they might be.
How to socialize, is that right
Okay.
or wrong? I don't know.
How to gather.
I put making clothes, core Christmas birthday surprise.
Specialized essence, burrow, and birthday.
I had different
occasions.
skating, hem and burrow. I don't know.
Knitting occasions, essence, birthday, and I've got hobbies as my.
Okay. So everybody's got the topic is how to party.
How to party.
Are we going to allow socialize? Or does Tom
I
fail
don't
to get his
know, I may have
points
been
for being
dropped
too
out.
obscure?
I think
Yeah.
socialize. I would say socialize is close enough. Hobbies is way off. But
It's down to the game creator, I think.
Does anybody? I'm fine with socialize.
Who got socialize?
Okay, yep, got that one. In which case, Tom gets his point as well.
Yeah, I got socialised because
I wasn't sure I was going to get that. I knew I'd been too.
So I'm sorry.
Socialize. It does say socialize, though. I will get this in focus somehow.
I've got
socialised.
Down a bit.
Okay.
Socialize. Just
Yeah.
it says it.
Okay. And then for the words, how many words did you say, Tom? Did you say all 4?
I got all 4 of them. Yeah.
What were they? We'll judge if any were missed.
Okay. Burrow.
Yes.
Yeah, I got burrow. Yes.
Birthday.
Yes.
No.
Cool.
Figure.
Ooh.
Oh no, I got skating. Oh.
Figure. Well played.
Yeah.
I
Hem.
got that one.
I got him. Yes.
Yeah, okay, I got 3 again.
I only got 1 point.
That's
Yeah, I
got
got
one.
one.
Andrew,
I'm assuming
One.
you're probably not going to count this, right? It's kind of similar, but not close enough. I'm assuming.
Gather.
I just did how to socialize. No, I don't quite gather.
You could gather
Oh,
for
I've
many
got 3
purposes,
points
couldn't
then.
you?
I'm so annoyed because I
well,
got skating
yeah.
and not figure. That's so annoying.
Well, it's like
know.
killer and whale. It's well, a
Yeah.
doubled word is a good way of hiding the other half of it, or at least obscuring it. Half of the people
Yeah.
might guess it was
But
one
if
word.
you
Half the
always
people...
do it the same way, then you'll become too predictable.
Yes, if you always use 2-word things, killer, whale, figure skating and stuff. But even then, people are going to be stuck trying to figure out which of the 2 is the word, unless they know the deck well. In which case they'll go, killer is in the deck, whale is not. Ergo, it's killer.
Jason,
So I only got
I
3
think we
points
can
on
learn
that
from
round.
that I actually don't know how to party.
Yeah.
So
I only got, that was my
The word
word.
alcohol
Hang
wasn't
on.
used, nor the word cake.
no.
Bottom one, birthday. I got birthday, occasions, knitting, and essence. So I only got birthday. So only one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm prepared to debate alcohol, but cake is a fundamental.
Andrew, how many did you get?
3.
Apparently these days everything is a cake. So.
And James?
A 3.
3. Thank you.
Very quickly, what kind of cake do people like?
I mean, I'm open on
3
cake, so it
cake.
better be
Cake
cake.
that I'm not going to pay for. I like 3 cake.
Chocolate cake is classic.
And then, all right.
A mixture of
I like
cakes,
all the cake.
multi-tiered
I
cakes.
got you for
I like a carrot, maybe a carrot cake, and then a chocolate cake on top, and
Ooh.
maybe I'm thinking of white chocolates and coconuts.
Ooh.
It's delicious.
I
James,
like a nice baked cheesecake. Can't beat one of those.
I want to go to Bez's wedding.
James, how many did you want?
Pass me my cake shovel.
James.
Hello, yes?
How many?
How many?
3.
How many what?
James got 3.
A detail word.
Oh, sorry, no, we're
I
on to
want
James'
all the
turn now.
details, please. I want all of them.
Okay.
I want more details than you can throw at me. Go on.
All right.
I believe you're
Give me
statutorily
all the
limited to
details.
4.
Oh, you're gonna
Yeah,
love
4
this.
is the limit, James. Sorry.
So what have I got then?
Oh boy, I'm typing them.
You have to look in private chat. Actually, can James easily look in private chat using his phone?
I've got birthday figure, hem and burrow. That's from the last one, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh.
You're looking in the right place, that means, though.
So don't
Yes.
read out the next thing that comes up.
What's up? Yeah. Do not read out hippopotamus, violin, boat, and waterfall. We've had those already. Except
How am
for
I
the one
going to
we
get
didn't.
this in?
Well,
Craftily.
you've just got
Oh.
to. I had should
Dear.
I had a rancid toupee to deal with. What more do you want? I should have put those words together, actually. You'd never have guessed it was both.
Well, we would have got in trouble because you could be talking about a certain figurehead.
Does
I have no idea how to put these into the sentence.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is going to be so difficult.
You
I've
should
got
have
no
said
idea.
one. You should have said
Welcome
one,
to
and you'd have been
my
you'd had this much easier.
Welcome to my world, James.
Does Mondo live also in
Ever.
Georgia?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
he's also
Awesome.
a Georgia designer.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. You ready, James?
No, not at all. I'm petrified of what I'm going to say here.
Can we all vote that James is as ready as he's going to get?
That's totally fine.
Good. I vote James is as ready as he's going to get.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's the rules again? Sorry, I've got to say something at the beginning, haven't I?
You just have to say, well, actually.
Yeah. And end with.
And then
"Do you
how do I end
understand?"
it?
Do you
Do you understand? All words to that effect.
Yeah.
I haven't started improving this yet.
Mm-hmm.
I ended with, but you know that, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you see Alan's Bez? Do you see Alan's comment?
What's it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't feel
Okay.
like.
You're not
Okay.
sharing it.
Okay.
You're not willing to share it. All right.
Okay, let's go. Well, actually, imagine the scene. You're in the heart of Africa, in the middle of the pyramids, the Sphinx, Egypt, and the obelisk, and you're right on top of all this. And there's a big boxing ring, and it's so high up, you've got a bit of height sickness or vertigo, whatever they call it. And all of a sudden, you have a punch from the right, and there's a left one, and a lefty and a righty, and all of a sudden you're on the floor. Okay, but you're getting up there, and you've got someone telling you how to get on with it. You've got your mates on the sides, Dave, Stu, Bob, whatever their names are, right? And they're all trying to help you out there to get you back on your feet, okay? And you've got the referee calling out, seconds out and all that kind of stuff. But you'll be all right. And then when it's all over and done with, you might even win a little medal or a belt or something. Do you understand? This is the worst explanation I can think of.
I have no clue what we're doing.
Exactly. This is brilliant. This is.
Right.
Well, actually, you did know what you're doing because you played it earlier, so clearly you're lying. You've just been an attention seeker, that's all.
Can't be how to box because he used boxing.
How to box?
I put boxing and then realised that was.
Can we accept that one, Fertessa? Would you accept boxing as an answer?
No, because you said. I mean, that you can put it as an answer, but that would disqualify if the thing was boxing.
Okay, so it would be more like
Fighting. How to
How
fight.
to fight.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
be.
How to
okay.
sport.
How to sport was mine to compete in sport. Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
you were pretty close, considering how crap my thing was. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I appreciate the sentiment, Alan, of wanting to speed things along, but just do feel like the gendered thing is a bit uncool.
I think it was based on the whole fact that the game's called Mansplaining.
I took it in context, in fact.
That's how I took it.
Me as well, yes.
So we had
As a representative cis man, I wasn't offended. Lefty, hang on, what do we have then? We started. What was the thing we were doing? How to sport.
It was how to fight.
Okay.
How to fight. Dang it.
I got
So
boxing.
Lefty.
Yeah, missed that one. Stew, I got.
Stu.
I got Stew.
Yep, Stew was obvious.
Obelisk.
Hidden amongst pyramid and what's it?
Vertigo.
Okay. Dang it, I only got 2.
I only got 1. I mean, you didn't do so bad.
I have no idea how to incorporate Vertigo and Obelisk into this sort of scenario. That was terrible.
Well, he snuck them past. I only got 1 of them.
Andrew, how many did you get?
2. I had Obelisk and Stew, but I didn't realise we were fighting. I thought we were competing at sports.
I was so tempted to go ragout de legume and then have stew hidden in like a French definition, but.
And then Tom got Obelisk, Vertigo 2.
Yeah, I only got 1. I only got Stew.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So, did somebody win?
Oh, let me count up all the tallies.
Ragout de legume, yes.
Yeah, boxing wasn't allowed, Aquilius. We've deemed it had to be fight because James himself used the word boxing.
No, I think we deemed that if you use boxing as a guess for what the thing was, it's fine.
Did we? Okay.
I said boxing.
Oh, there you are then. Everyone's happy. Everyone's a winner.
Well, apart from me,
And
but you know.
Seats wishes that you were here, Elaine.
Some people are more winners than others.
I want to hear Nick's pun. What's Nick's pun do one?
You might have met them. Elaine Baba. I'm not going to try pronouncing their surname. Sorry, Elaine.
Elaine Baba. Did I meet Elaine at your exhibition thing in your gender museum thing?
No, Elaine's not based in London. Elaine's parts of No Pun Included. The peeps
That's
who.
where gender belongs, in a museum. With all the old dusty artifacts.
Okay, so that was
No
a close
pun
one.
intended.
Bez got 14.
Wow.
Heather got 14.
What?
Andrew got 17.
Okay.
No way.
Jason got 11. Tom got 13.
13.
James got 18.
18.
And Alan got 4. Aquasilius got 9. Zatu got 4.
Alan got
Robert
4.
got 5. Yes.
Wow.
Or
Oh.
those are the ones. It was harder for me to keep up with the ones with chat. So chat are most likely going to be
Slightly incorrect.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they didn't have a chance to be the mansplainer, so they would have lost out on something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also that too.
Technically, they should be given at least, a
So
half point per round bonus.
Alan, I apologize.
Yeah, Alan got 4 in just one of the things.
Yeah. So I was between mixing up the names of the different chats and getting everybody else. The chats were definitely wrong. But that means James is our winner.
So getting like 2 or 3 rounds actually still enough
I
to
am
do
the
quite well.
champion. Yes, you see. Well done, James.
Well done. You pulled it off, and it was because you went for all 4. Good job.
You see, this is how you play this game, you see.
Yes. Thank you guys for playing.
Yeah.
I always knew I had a talent at something in my life,
So what was that? So we had 5. So for scoring purposes, we had 5 goes at guessing, didn't we? And then you could get 5 points for doing your own successfully. So realistically, I made 12 points off 5 people. So yeah, an average of 2.5 to 3 is good enough to do pretty well.
So the maximum.
I think if me and
score
Andrew
was
went into a
60
room
points.
together, just mansplain to each other, we could have a whole show just for that, couldn't we? Really?
Probably.
Yeah.
Not sure anyone would learn
I was
anything.
just saying the maximum score would have been 30 points.
Oh,
because there were 6 rounds and you can get 5 points every round.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
is Jason alive still? Is he all right?
Yeah, I'm still alive.
Okay.
He sounds
Get worried.
thrilled about it.
I thought you might have been having a bit of a.
Oh, bollocks. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I've just knocked. Yep, sorry, I've just knocked Coke on the floor. That was a genuine cuss word of frustration at doing something stupid in the background. I apologise.
I'm doodling / stimming.
So we had a couple of suggestions from Aquasulis. Aquasulis is saying, for example, could you get given some extra words and then pick a subset of them?
That would make it far too easy.
I don't know.
They're all hard. They're all random and weird. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all going to be difficult for you. And then
I mean, I had freaking what was my charcuterie. Charcuterie. I was like, no.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I still don't get it because as long as you use other words, and when you say, does the words have to be in context? Could you, for example, use the word to pay in a part of the sentence that means to pay?
Well, Stu got sneaked through on a singular basis.
It has to be in context. But when I was reading through the rules, that was the one thing that jumped out at me. If you would be willing to give me 4 things, I would like to spend, if I may, 60 seconds to demonstrate, if I were just playing to win, how I would play it.
Sure.
You're just going to read sections of a dictionary as an arbitrary random, and then a 10-second explanation of the actual
I would say some words that are contained in the dictionary are.
Yeah, you're going to read as an arbitrary noise burst of words in order to hide the 4 words you need to hide, and then you're going to give us the minimum possible explanation of whatever the thing is in order to get you extra point. I mean, we'll all score a point for the clear explanation, and you'll get 5 points for having successfully hidden 4 words in amongst however many words you can say in 50 seconds.
Andrew, we've stopped playing the game now.
No, I mean, but I partly say it before Ben says it to confirm that we have actually come to the same conclusion independently. That there is a way to fox it.
Yeah, and so it feels like there needs to be that tension of, okay, how close to that do you skirt, if you know what I mean?
Well, you need to be able to be challenged afterwards. You know,
because
so,
if
toupee was too arbitrary. Comparing a toupee to a hat is valid, but just saying the word toupee completely at random would be deemed unacceptable.
So you definitely should forfeit your points if you say the topic word.
Yes.
I know I didn't know, but that's not the point.
Yes. It should, if you, in the same manner as taboo or something, if you actually infringe too closely on the actual topic, you must lose your point for that. But yes, some sort of challenge mechanism whereby you can get called on irrelevant words.
And when they challenge, so basically they would challenge if you didn't use it with context, you just threw it in without.
Yeah, it would have to be afterwards, wouldn't it? Because you can't challenge mid mansplain. It would have to be afterwards if you hold up the card, obelisk, and James had just put obelisk in there at random without context. Now, if he'd said you do this activity next to an obelisk and we believed him, that would be fine. But again, taking to a logical conclusion, if you just read O words out of the dictionary, obelisk would no longer be okay because it was no longer contextual.
Got it.
But if I say, okay, right, here are some things, you might want to put some things in a frying pan. For example, you might want to put a birthday cake, or a human, or a little petite egg, or a stimulating thing, or the rim of a sausage, or an obelisk, or maybe you're making a stew. But ultimately, all of these things are going to go on top of each other. So you do this as a surprise. Maybe it's, just to excite your mind. Maybe it's to delight you. Maybe it's to fill you with wonderment. But people don't think it's egregious when you're putting things on top of the other and trying to make it not fall left or right, because they're thinking, okay, the badger isn't going to stop me, and it's stimulating me. And, the lady in the Thatcher is saying it's okay. And the Pied Piper and the Rim Keeper, they're all okay with it. And the Lord of the Rings. Now, so ultimately, all you've got to do is make sure it doesn't topple over. Do you know what I mean?
Not at all. I have just, however, thought of another way. Rather than challenging individual words, it should just be like, rather than if you make anyone who knows just a minute, no hesitation, repetition, etc. At the end of the round, anybody can call a vote that says that was just gibberish. So I could just say that was not a cohesive topic. That was not a mansplation. That was just gibberish. And if I can get a majority to say I concur, that was gibberish, the mansplainer doesn't get any points. If you just gibber and you're called on gibbering, you forfeit your points.
Deviation. So you need
or deviation so far from the point that you were clearly just obfuscating your words. So James's one might have been precious close, actually, because he didn't really talk a great deal about boxing. Jason's was quite good. He actually stuck more or less to the subject of ice skating.
James did. James was all about fighting and boxing.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it would be a vote, right? Because it becomes a subjective of the group whether or not you think it was a sufficiently good on topic. So Heather's was good. Heather's was largely around laundry and stuff you can do whilst doing laundry.
Well, the issue I had with mine, Andrew, was I'd have set the scene with obelisks and, vertigo.
Granted.
And I'm thinking, how do I put that into a fighting scenario? So I thought I'd set the scene with where the fighting takes place. So then after that, people just beat each other up.
You shouldn't be criticised for using the words. So perhaps you should see what the words are. Perhaps the vote should be last. You find out what the topic was. You find out what the 4 words were, and then if somebody wants to challenge it on the basis of no, you just gibbered to include those words, and then if the vote carries, you lose the mansplainer doesn't get their points.
Aquasulus makes a good point that basically what I've just shown is that actually. The incentives are a vehicle for doing things that ultimately are quite funny.
Yeah. I think so.
That gibberish is amusing.
It was amusing, but I started to feel like, boy, this game should be called like
gibberish.
Yeah, blithering idiot, or like gibberish, or something like that.
I can't say it would engage me for long if people just gibberished. It's funny once.
Yeah.
Maybe even funny for everybody to gibber once, but it wouldn't engage me as a game concept for long. Because apart from it becomes very hard to tell the words.
It works with a game wherein you blether a Scottish words, meaning to talk at length at a fast rate without necessarily making very much sense.
But that's because you keep flipping words and having to adapt to that word in context, rather than knowing them from the start and then just arbitrarily.
Because the thing about mansplaining actually is it is usually overcomplicated jargonistic language.
But it's usually on topic. Normally the mansplainer would not be faulted by somebody who is actually because it can be just wrong. Mansplaining can either be completely wrong, as in just somebody talking out of their ass, or it can actually be somebody who's a complete geek on the subject, explaining it in such redundant depth and complexity that people go, technically they're right, but at the same time that massively overcomplicated it. Here is a process for frying an egg. You need to get a Teflon coated, you get the pan, you put the oil, you stick on the heat, you crash the egg, there you go, you made an egg.
I wonder,
I didn't need the history of the implement.
Can I just put a point? I feel very attached right now, Andrew, considering you know my topic of my PhD. And it feels like I may be mansplaining, because everyone here says to me, we use them and they work as we do. And I'm going, no, they don't. They're actually technically incorrect here. And you're.
But to be fair, you're doing that in the context of a PhD to an audience that reads a PhD.
It's a PhD.
So have I missed something? Has Jason done a PhD in how to boil an egg?
No. Jason is contending that being extensively geeky on a subject makes it mansplaining. I'm saying it only does if you're audience. If somebody asks you, in a clear interest of making breakfast, how to fry an egg, explaining the Teflon-coated frying pan history is irrelevant and was mansplaining. If somebody asks you genuinely your profound implications of musical theory, it's reasonable to read them a PhD.
Well, actually, the definition of mansplaining is the explanation of something by a man, typically to a woman, in a manner regarded as condescending or patronizing.
Well, in that case, clearly you can't have done it, so you're disqualified.
Damn. So
either that or we're going to have to abandon the concept of gender. Or at least say it's not part of the game.
It's a pretty loaded title, I suppose, for Tessa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is indeed.
I like it. I think this game will fly off the shelves.
On the basis that it works entirely on the basis of satire, it is acceptable because it quite clearly takes the piss out of the subject, and therefore it is.
I think this is the right time in history for this sort of game. I think it's really good. I think it will fly the shelves. I want to buy a copy now.
Oh, thank you.
If I could make a suggestion, it was going to be, what if a majority of the people have to get the topic? So you've got to actually talk about the topic a good deal. And
that still doesn't proof it against your strategy. 50 seconds of gibberish followed by 10 seconds of what you do is you take the cloves and you put them in the big rotating drum with the soapy type stuff and they come out nice and clean. Sure. Everybody got I'm talking about washing, and now I will read you the dictionary for 52 seconds.
But I think that coupled with some sort of deviation rule, like I think you want to hope that, I think it does need to be written, even if it's a loose rule, just to say, yeah, the entirety of your thing needs to be served with the purpose of explaining this topic in some manner and setting the scene. If people felt like you were deviating for a part of it, then they can vote. But that's the kind of thing that probably just has to be governed by the group ultimately.
Do you think that if this game wasn't called Mansplaining, we wouldn't be spending so long explaining how we want to explain this game to each other?
No, I think it's just inherent in anything where you can gibber. Is how on topic does your gibber have to be?
And this is us.
This is us too.
It does kind of bring out your kind of mansplaining side to you, which you want to bring out in any context. We talk about this sort of game, so yeah, it is one of those games where if you want to talk about it in the cold light of day, then
And I think had I realised what the game was about, I probably would have completely switched off all my masking for my arrogance and grandioses, because I've literally got the diagnosis. You know what I'm talking about. I've actually got a diagnosis of arrogance, which is great in my career.
You would have proceeded to be excessively verbose on a number of very lenient topics for absolutely no purpose other than to obfuscate the true point of the expletive, which you are trying in no way to possibly explain, etc.
Is arrogance a medical condition?
No, I've got arrogance and grandioses.
In extremis.
It is a medical diagnosis.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Oh my! Oh.
Oof! Harsh.
What was that?
And
what happened just then?
So
I'm not sure if that can be read out, but in the context, it's fair.
Yeah, you've got mansplaining, womansplaining. There must be a non-binary variation.
Of man.
I'm just going to make one small suggestion. Fertessa and also Mondo, if you're watching, I don't think you should get negative points in this game. I don't see any reason for that. Frankly, I think everyone should just be given the same number of things, and if you manage to get them into the topic, then you get points for it. If you don't get it into the topic, you don't score. So, yeah, because I don't see any benefit to the negatives.
Yeah,
I think you're right there. I would agree with that.
This is the first game we actually tested it with the negatives, just off of feedback from the last one. So I think we've agreed on that point that usually we want to keep it all positive because it's a party game. So
and also score. When would you ever never choose 4 as not?
I still can't.
Fertessa was saying if you're not feeling great.
So, but even then, you're just arbitrarily at a disadvantage because you can now score less. You've already lost because you've already conceded that you're not. If I turn up and say 2 and everyone else says 4, I've just given myself a 2-point handicap.
Yeah, advantage-wise, it's.
You could have 1 point for each plus a bonus if you get all.
I have had a couple of people who were just like, I wish I could, choose less or start out with 1 or 2, and then when I got more comfortable, go up to 4. So
I liked.
Well, then you could give everyone 4 to start with, and then they just choose the 4 out of the 4, which ones they will include.
Yeah, well, the group could choose the number they're going to play. The group could say, okay, this is 10-year-olds, and they don't want to try too many, so they'll do 2 or 3, and then me and James can decide we're going to do 57.
I was thinking
each.
I was
yeah.
thinking maybe and as an extension version, because of course we only play one round of it. That each round, the one with the most points gets one more word to add. So it's like a penalty for being so good.
Well, it's not a penalty though, because it's also an option for them to score.
Yeah, but there's a point where it's just not.
Or how about
that makes sense.
The game could sort of escalate. So the first round, you got 30 seconds with 2 words, then 45 seconds with 3 words.
Yeah, that could be an interesting challenge.
That could be intriguing.
Version.
I quite like the idea just of the what was it we did in the middle. If you fail to get, if the word gets got by everybody, then you don't get your point, and if the word gets got by nobody, you get a bonus point.
Yeah,
I'm going to be really predictable here and say I would like an After Dark version, please.
I mean, every word game that's ever existed basically can have an After Dark version.
Yes.
Exactly.
It is always a valid booster pack for anybody who's prepared to write one.
Wibble, you're only allowed to use swear words. How would that work?
Or,
I mean, it wouldn't
Monopoly,
always be
using the streets of the Red Light District or something.
I mean, it's not that easy to use alphabetical that way, but there's you could certainly do some of the story games. You have to get a rude word in.
Well, alphabetical isn't technically a word game.
So let's. I think.
Mansplaining After Dark. I would love that. That'd be so much fun.
To be fair, mansplaining is actually a real word that's actually in the dictionary.
So's fornicate, but I would love to hear James mansplain fornication to me after dark.
Let's see. Don't get
Oh, I see.
I got a lot of good notes here.
I got it.
Okay. So,
I thought there's Tom's cat now.
We
Hello,
wrap
Tom's
up.
cat.
I
Tom's
think
cat is on a timer. It's 10 o'clock.
Time when we should share things that we're looking forward to, hopes, ambitions, whatever. Let's go round. What am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to finishing off the rules for puzzle. I guess this is also a hope and ambition, and just getting those written and sent out. And I'm currently, a little bit behind, but doing the story all about Ian Vincent's boundless skepticism and how they contributed massively with their criticism the first time I met them. And that's what I'm looking forward to having done.
Okay.
Heather?
For me, I am looking forward to Protospiel. That's an easy one. Lots of work to do, but looking forward to it. Yeah, thank you.
Andrew Dennison.
My wedding anniversary is next week, and I think is it going to be next week? I think it's this. Oh, I think it's next Tuesday actually. So I apologise. I may not be available next Tuesday. I need to update the doodle. There's one or two other things that might happen, but I won't say them yet because they might not, and then I'd be disappointed. But yeah, so my wedding anniversary is next week, and Christmas because this is now a running gag.
Okay. You're still looking forward to it.
Yes, I inquired when I was previously stuck. I inquired how far in the distance something had to be, and I was told it could be as far as I liked. So I just said, "Well, Christmas."
Fertessa.
Oh, it's already me. Yes, the things I'm looking forward to are Protospiel Online. It's my first time moderating at the online, so woo! And I'm looking forward to checking off at least 10 more things from my to-do list, because that means I did them and I don't have to worry about them again. And I make money. Yay. And I look forward to dinner because it's not going to be fast food today. Probably. More than likely. Yes.
Jason?
I'm looking forward to starting an email chain conversation with my supervisor's father, who's a professor in chaos theory and physics. I've been formally interested.
Nice. Sounds incredibly highbrow.
Yes. I love how Tom.
Did someone say eyebrows?
Is like I'm the one on this stream now. It's me.
Yes.
I'm the most important one here.
This cat has such an elegant name. What's the name again?
Liam.
Yes.
Liam. Yeah.
That is a good name.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
So
I think we lost and we received Jason.
We've got 2 Jasons. How did that happen? And they're out of sync as well. They're both doing different things at different times.
There's another Jason.
I know, there's another one.
Why are there 2 Jasons?
What? Where are these spawning in from?
Jason from the future wants
It's
to
the
give
Attack of the Clones.
what they're looking
To be
forward
fair,
to.
Oh my gosh.
It was picked up by a friend called Jason. I picked him up from Jason. There is more of us. But I was saying, I'm looking forward to starting an email chain of conversations with my supervisor's father. Also, so I can hit that 20,000 word count by September, because I've got twice as much again. No, same again to get to my 40,000, so I can hit the word count. I've got practice. Before you look confused, Andrew, I've got practice base, so that means that I've got 40,000 words and 60,000 practical equivalent.
Oh, yes, I vaguely recall this. Yes, I still couldn't remember how you managed to get a PhD array in only 40k words. Yes, fair enough.
Difficult, very difficult. Especially when you're dealing with words.
I still submit the idea of the blank piece of paper. I'm just going there. Again, it's an appendix.
No, it's a score.
It gets it, which will be contained in an appendix.
There's already a piece of music that used paper. And there's a whole thing. I'm actually talking about it in one of my chapters.
Tom.
Yeah. I've got a hope and ambition this week of getting back into game design. I'm going to look up some of my old designs and see if I can sort of start working on it. I haven't done any game design at all year. So I need to start on that. That's a project for the week. And Liam's hope and ambition is to have a nice dinner in a few minutes with some dreamies on top.
And James.
We've got some background music going on as well at the same time.
Yeah,
Is there like
supplied by Jason.
It's like being one of those lifts, isn't it? Right. Well, as well as the After Dark version of Mansplaining, which I'm really looking forward to playing. We need to organise a After Dark night of games. We really do. Please, can we get on the case and just set a date in to do that? And things I'm looking forward to are seeing some friends, I think, on the weekend, going out for nice coffee. A couple of weeks ago, I was on this chat here, and you asked me how people can get in contact with me, and I said, I'm on Tinder and various other bits and pieces. And, I've actually had quite a lot of luck on that just from being on this show. So I'm looking forward to a nice hot day on the weekend.
That's good.
And
Fertessa's cat too came to.
Oh, look at that! We've got cats, we've got dogs, we've got fluffy things there. Look, we've got Jason as well. He's quite fluffy, isn't he? So you've got all the fluffy things coming out here.
Fertessa's dog is like a teddy bear. What is your dog's name again?
Bailey.
Bailey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's her eating time. No, she knows
and
that
just
word.
to quickly let folk know, this is the link that I just posted for the LDEC design competition. Be sure to do that before the end of the year. I mean, end of the month. Yeah. And the other one, also make sure to do this before 30th. And there's the whole someone check me.
So that link. How am I going to get that link written down in that time that you put it on the screen? All those words on that link.
Well, because if you're on YouTube, then it's a clickable link, or if you're on the Twitch, then it's a clickable link.
So I got as far as GKS257, and I kind of lost the rest of it, really.
Hippopotamus.
Yeah.
It's in the comments.
You can copy paste it.
And I'm sure you could also search for it on Facebook and Twitter under Bez Day.
Yeah, if you go to my Twitter, my last tweet was actually about the Bez Day competition, and let me actually share my screen Basically, what it is that this year is the 5th year anniversary of In a Bind, and it's been 1st of August, 2015. It was in shops, and you send up to 3 photos of you playing In a Bind or Yogi. If you have neither of those, there's a free download link where you can get a print and play version, which is Comic Sans. It's low quality. And it's also only 12 cards. But the 12 cards are carefully chosen, so they will be incredibly difficult for you to do.
And the website is docs.google.com//form/d/e1f8lp qlsf.ody.gb80911lko5f_9LWUGXA/viewform.
And Fertessa's links are a little bit easier. Twitter.com/Fertessa, Girls Game Shelf, where you can check out Fertessa's stuff. There is, of course, again, one last shout out for protospiel.online, which is actually a really cool web link. It's like now you get .games and .biz.
Yeah, one day, Bez, maybe I can show you how to turn your link James is complaining about into something short and beautiful.
Okay.
Or indeed any other compression.
We can mansplain the link, can't we, using all the different characters?
Well, actually.
And my links are Stuff by Bez, generally stuffbybez.com, twitter.com/stuffbybez, instagram.com/stuffbybez, twitch.tv/stuffbybez, facebook.com/thingsbybez, stuffbybez@gmail.com if you wish to email me. I need to change the facebook.com thing. Alan Outson has.
I need to ask you something though. You know, you said to me the other day that the reason why it's called Things is because FB isn't allowed on Facebook.
Yeah, so Alan Outson
Jeff
did this. Apparently, they changed the rules. When I set it up over 5 years ago, I guarantee you, I could not have Stuff by Bez. True story. But Alan Outson is telling me, yeah.
It's possible.
What if her name was like Jeff Brown and that's got an FB on it? And then, you know, how would poor Jeff get around getting a Facebook account?
Well, it's for the page names because there are different rules for Facebook pages versus Facebook people, if you know what I mean. And yeah, that's it. And
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
When I can, Alan, I have higher priorities. I need to do the puzzle links, and then I need to sort out Bestie, and then. But
we need to after Dark Knight, please.
We'll talk about it afterwards. But there is only one thing left to do. Which
yeah,
is
5 seconds every day, Bez. You're right, Alan. Think of all the time in your whole life it'll save you when you don't have to explain why it's the same thing, Bez, you know?
This is like, I love the chaos of this game. It's lovely, isn't it? I love the chaos of this.
Well, the game or just this whole session we do every week?
The whole session. It's like...
It's almost like it's unscripted and done by a bunch of marginally sane people.
It's like the Muppet Show in real life, isn't it? You know?
Bye.
I don't even want to
everybody. Bye song.
Does that make me Kermit?
Bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye. This is the end of the show. Bye. And now it's time to go. Bye. This is the goodbye song. Bye. Thank you.
Come on, Tom, wave along.
Bye. This is the end of the show. Bye. And now it's time to go. Bye.
Bye, everybody.